Hi guys, welcome to my classroom. Thank you for joining me for my PowerPoint. Evolution of telephones from landline to smartphones. Smartphones in the classroom have taken away from our children's education. As you can see, we went from 1960, from a rotary phone, where you gotta dial the number and wait, dial the next number and wait, to we went to a corded phone. I remember back in the day when we had corded phones, I literally would be on the phone for an hour, laying on the floor right next to the cord because you can't move around the house with it. You're stuck in one spot. Then, 1994, we received the wonderful cordless phone. That thing would go all over the house. You could go outside to a certain length, but you couldn't go that far. But that was amazing. Then it brings us up to 2007, which pretty much probably 100% of us know. If we don't know, let me inform you. We have a phone that is called the smartphone. You can connect to the internet, you can text, you can call, you can do homework anywhere, you can do presentations online, you can record them. Amazing how we have revolved over the years. Next, electronics have become the way of learning in our classroom systems globally, which is very sad because a lot of our education is being interrupted by the electronics. Even though it's a great thing, it's not a great thing for our school-age kids. Our classrooms are not the same as we once knew it. Classrooms went from books to electronics such as the following: smartphones, iPads, tablets, Bluetooth devices, and smart boards. Smartphones are, I mentioned prior, you can go anywhere and use them. You can do anything pretty much on them. You can call, text, whatever. iPads, you can use those in the school with playing games, using those for communicating. You can use the tablet, same thing. It's like a mini little computer, and the iPad is. Bluetooth device gives you the ability to, you could be in your car and play music from your phone that you downloaded, and you can play it in your car. You can Bluetooth it to the radio. Smart boards. We have those throughout our school. It gives us the ability to teach our children in front of the class with a smart board with just a click of the computer. It gives us the ability to write on it. If we're doing like an art project and you need to trace something, we can use a colored pencil. It's considered like a pen pencil. You can do it right on the screen. You can multiply on the screen. You can do writing on the screen. It's amazing. Like, it is really good. This is a picture to show you how education was as we knew it without cell phones in the class. As you can see, we have a chalkboard. We all remember that chalkboard. And remember the books that we had on our desk, and those little desks you hardly fit in? Those were the worst desks. And then you had to put your books on the floor if you didn't have enough room. Just a very huge inconvenience. But we kept the education through our books. This is education as we know it today. With cell phones in our classroom, as you can see, I added smart tablets on each desk because pretty much children have either smart tablets with them, they have the iPhone, they have the iPads, anything smart device, kids have it nowadays. So it interrupts our education, and we take our books for granted. We could teach off of the electronic devices, we could teach off of our phones. They're like mini computers, carrying around a baby mini computer all day long at hand. You don't have to go search for it. You can carry it in your pocket, you can carry it in your purse, you can carry it, in wherever you want, your sweatshirt. So it's just too handy for children to get their hands on. The pros of cell phones in the class. Now, I do have to say there is some pros. Some of the pros in the class are easy communication through parents, through grandparents, brothers, sisters, friends. Of course, friends are going to text you and call you. It also helps with safety when walking home. You know that your child has this device to keep contact with just in case something happens, somebody tries to abduct them. We have a research tool more at hand. They can use those to research stuff in class. For instance, our science class, the teacher, if she doesn't have enough tablets or computers, then she offers for children to use their phone to research their information. I found in my research that with using cell phones that children from the age of 10 and up helps with faster reading, which I was very surprised, but I guess writing and reading at the same time does make a big difference. We do that on paper, so why wouldn't it make a difference on a cell phone? The best thing that a smartphone has ever had is a GPS tracker. Who doesn't want to track their children to make sure that they're okay, where they're supposed to be, and where they're going? It's amazing. The cons of a cell phone in the classroom are split attention in the classroom. I don't know how many times I have addressed the situation that children just don't care to pay attention. They'd rather be texting, playing on their phone, playing games, whatever. Anything more than paying attention in class. Or they'll pay attention for a minute and they'll say, "Can you repeat that?" Well, you know why they need it repeated? Because they were doing something on their phone they weren't supposed to. So, another con is distraction or interruption of a lesson. Teachers have to stop and address the cell phone policy, which the cell phone policy is you can have it, but just don't have it out. Don't be disrespectful. Don't bring it out. Don't interrupt your peers. You're taking the education away from your peers. So you have to stop. You have to address the situation. Can you please put your phone up? The children's response was, "I don't have my phone." We know they have the phone. Just put it up so I can continue teaching my class. Time wasted on addressing the issue. How much time is wasted and taken away from the other students in the class that don't, not follow the rules? They don't bend the rules. They do what they're supposed to. They keep their phones out of sight, out of mind. Also, another issue with having a cellular smart device is bullying. Bullying is huge in the school system, and this makes it so much easier to go down the hallway, record somebody, post it on social media, and there's when the bullying starts. Let's address cheating. Now, any normal human being obviously has that thought, hey, if you could do it, I can do it. I'm going to take a picture of that and I'm going to cheat because I have my phone. So all I got to do is scroll. Oh, there's the answer. So of course you're going to see more cheating because it's more at their hands' reach. So I did a survey through a survey called SurveyMonkey. I asked 42 educators that I work with at the middle school of Parkside. My first question was, do you feel cell phones are an issue in your classroom? 29 of the 42 answered strongly agree. They strongly know how much of an issue they have to address these cell phones every day in class. There was 11 of them that somewhat, because some teachers don't care. You can have them out all day long. You can use them all day long. You can, do whatever you want. Then we have 3 that disagree. They just disagree that our educators are doing what they're supposed to. They're addressing it. Okay. My second question is, how well do you feel the cell phone policy is enforced? Well, there was 3 that strongly agreed it was. There was 13 that somewhat agreed, and there was 26 that strongly agreed against it. It's not enforced like it should be. They have been warned, they have been told, we have had announcements about please put your phone away, it's a distraction. Nobody still listens. My third question is, do you feel cell phones are taken away from our education? 25 of our educators of the 42 strongly agreed that cell phones are interrupting our education of our future students. 15 somewhat agree and 2 disagree. They feel like that cell phones are not interrupting their education whatsoever. And them are probably some of the teachers that like to use their phone throughout the day. I do too. I'm not excluding me, but I use it at the proper time, not during, classroom lessons. My fourth question is, do you feel cell phones help the speed of reading? I was amazed when I found this answer in my research. The research just showed that cell phones do help with the speed of reading, which I am just blown away by it. But hey, You know, who knows? Something new I learned. And there was one person that strongly agreed with it. There was 10 that somewhat agreed with it. And there was 32 educators that strongly are against it. So my fifth question is, how do you feel about using a cell phone bucket or a cell phone slot holder in the first 5 minutes of class? So what that would entail is, when you come in, you got 5 minutes to end whatever you're doing, whether you're playing a game, texting a parent, posting something on social media, looking at your hair, taking a photo or a video or whatever you're doing. You got 5 minutes to end that at the beginning of class. Then what happens is, at the beginning of the class, you have 5 minutes to stick that phone in either a cell phone bucket at teacher's discretion, or a cell phone slot that hangs on the door, which you just put it in there, your first 5 minutes, therefore no more interruptions, but we're giving you that 5 minutes to end what you were doing before you come to class, because who wants to be interrupted? I know I don't, and I'm sure none of you do. So that just gives a student 5 minutes to get themselves together at the beginning of class, so there's no more addressing it and there's no more interruptions in our education. What are your feelings on enforcing 4-step process? So this was interesting. I wasn't too sure how it was going to go, who was going to agree, who was going to disagree, but I was pretty excited to realize, or to see that most of the staff out of the 42 really agreed with the 4-step process I came up with. So 27 of them strongly agreed with it, 12 somewhat, and 3 totally disagreed, which it does take time, but it's time well spent. So first step would be the teacher keeps it till the end of the day. Yeah, it's all right. Second step, the teacher will keep it to the end of the day or to the next day. The third step is, we are divided by 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. The teacher will send that student to its grade principal. Whether you're in 6th grade, you go to the 6th grade principal. You're in 7th grade, you go to the 7th grade principal. You're in 8th grade, you go to the 8th grade principal. Whatever principal is yours, that's where you will go. They will keep that phone until the end of the day, or the earliest convenience of the principal's discretion for your parent to come pick it up. So now we got to get the parent involved, so the parent realizes how important our kids' education is, how the cell phones are interrupting. I understand that, parents, they pay for the cell phone bills. I myself pays for mine and my child's cell phone bill. However, I've taught her when and where she could use her cell phone. And if she's disrespectful and uses her cell phone, then she loses privilege of her cell phone. So I've kind of bedded it inside there that do not be disrespectful with your cellular phone. But it gives me comfort knowing that I can contact her all day long when I want. I can send her a message. I know that she might be in class, so I'll be patient and wait for a response. But it still tells me education is important, and maybe it's not the right time to text her. Maybe I'll text her at lunch, or I know in between classes, something like that to save from getting in trouble. Here I included a chart, which the chart shows the percentage of what our educators in the middle school of Parkside really do agree that our cell phones are an interruption. As you can see, the longer lines that we have going across here and here and here, the longer lines are what they strongly agree with or strongly disagree that we should not have in our education worlds in the classrooms. Okay, so here is a short video I picked to show how distracting cell phones are in the classrooms, at the same time taking education